This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by our new weekly show, Weed Wonks, hosted by our friends Jordan Wellington and Andrew Livingston. We're now 11 episodes into this very cool podcast, which dives into the details and minutiae of legal marijuana regulation, lobbying, and legislation. You can find Weed Wonks wherever you find podcasts by searching for the term Weed Wonks, with wonks spelled W-O-N-K-S. You can also just jump over to weedwonks.com. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Thursday, November 7th, 2019, and you're tuned in to episode 835 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. We start the day off in California, where approximately 5% of the state's licensed marijuana companies have been ordered by the state to cease operations until they go through mandatory training and certification for the official track and trace program used to deter diversion into the illicit market. Around 385 licensed marijuana businesses are affected, spread out among dispensaries, delivery services, distributors, and micro businesses. Alex Traverso, spokesperson for the California Bureau of Cannabis Control, said that the 385 companies caught up in the suspensions have all had lots of time to get into compliance, but just haven't, versus the 2,236 licensed businesses who have. A new report just published on Tuesday in the Journal of Psychopharmacology finds that people living with PTSD who also consume marijuana have fewer depressive episodes and thoughts of suicide compared to non-consumers. Researchers used data out of Canada and found that non-consumers of cannabis were around 7 times more likely to have a depressive episode and more than 4 times more likely to have contemplated committing suicide. These are enormously powerful numbers given the context of this story. Read this one. Kyle Yeager has all the important details. As we always do, we have all the news we cover linked to on our website at mjtodaydaily.com. Kyle grabs a top story twofer with a good roundup of how marijuana fared in Tuesday's elections when a number of state and local marijuana measures were put to vote. In Virginia, Democrats gained control of both the House and Senate, which should help advance progressive cannabis policy reform there. A number of cities and towns went to the polls, with locals giving the thumbs up or down to marijuana businesses in states like Maine, Colorado, Massachusetts, and Ohio. This is one of those stories that you really just need to read in full. Dive into all the details over at Marijuana Moment. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz out in headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, our new weekly show, Weed Wonks, hosted by Jordan Wellington and Andrew Livingston, who dive into different wonky topics in legal marijuana legislation, regulation, and lobbying. The great thing about Weed Wonks is that it's the perfect complement to all the other podcasts that we produce here at MJ Today Media. You're listening to this show because you like the quick hit of news that the Daily provides Monday through Friday. You tune into our flagship show, Marijuana Today, to get the most in-depth and insightful take on the top 2 or 3 stories of the week, and Weed Wonks is there to fill in the space with everything you need to know about the wonky world of how cannabis law is made and implemented. Hosts Jordan and Andrew step up to the podcast plates like the champs they are, and somehow turn the nerdy topic of legal cannabis rules and regulations into really good radio. They're interesting and knowledgeable and easy to listen to. And best of all, by subscribing and tuning in to the Weed Wonks, you're going to be better at your job, because that's our ultimate goal here at MJ Today Media. We want to entertainingly make you a better operator in your business world. Start that heroic journey today by searching for the term Weed Wonks wherever you listen to podcasts and subscribing. Or just swing over to weedwonks.com, with wonks spelled W-O-N-K-S. That's weedwonks.com. All right, time for the blitz. A new marijuana business incubator was launched yesterday in Illinois to help social equity applicants bring their business ideas to life. The new project is funded and sponsored by Illinois multi-state operator Cresco Labs and will focus on 35 founding participants who are in the running for 75 dispensary licenses to be handed out in May. The Canadian province of Ontario will soon allow marijuana dispensaries to sell directly to customers online and to set up services where they can call ahead on the phone to arrange for products to pick up. Finance Minister Rod Phillips announced the plans yesterday and pitched it as a way to combat illicit sales and to protect consumer health, though he gave no clear timetable for when provincial law would be changed to allow for it. Scotts-MiracleGro is reporting strong growth in the division of the company that handles marijuana cultivation sales. Scotts-MiracleGro organizes all of its marijuana business under its Hawthorne brand, which they are saying saw 38% growth in sales in the fourth fiscal quarter over Q3. Scotts-MiracleGro is one of the more mainstream public stocks involved in legal cannabis, so it's a decent barometer to watch. New Cannabis Ventures has all the details and numbers there. Picking up his third story of the day, Mr. Kyle Yeager, the hardest working writer in cannabis, detailed news out of New York that 2 state departments filed an amendment yesterday to allow medical marijuana businesses to sell hemp-derived CBD products. Right now, hemp is not allowed within New York's medical marijuana program. Health Department Commissioner Howard Zucker said the addition of hemp as a possible source of product will, quote, improve the program for patients and registered organizations, unquote. The proposal must now stand for a 60-day public comment period before going for a vote. We have a story in need of a quick bit of a disclosure as it concerns our sponsor Curaleaf, which just opened up its first adult-use marijuana dispensary in the state of Massachusetts and had former Red Sox pitcher Bill Spaceman Lee make the symbolic first purchase. Curaleaf's adult-use shop just opened up in Oxford, Massachusetts, and the 72-year-old Lee, a noted cannabis aficionado going back to his playing days in the 70s, was the first in line, buying a bottle of CBD and THC oil. A new poll conducted by Politico and Harvard University found that 80% of Americans do not think that marijuana is harmful, while around the same number think tobacco is. A touch over half of respondents think that e-cigarettes are harmful. I think the biggest takeaway on this is that around half of those polled had no idea what CBD is, and that among those that do, the vast majority think it's harmless. And finally for today, Chris Moore over at Mary Jane has a good story to take us out, with 462 people being set free from prison on Monday in the state of Oklahoma as part of a program set in place by a 2016 criminal justice ballot measure, moving small-time drug crimes from felonies to misdemeanors. The average stretch that each person was being let out early from their sentenced time was 1.37 years, which is just crazy. People should spend 0 days in jail for drug crimes, to say nothing of years. Let's see more of this everywhere. A good story to read and share. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again tomorrow morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our Twitter account at MJ Today Daily and visit our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Thanks to our sponsor, Weed Wonks, and to our awesome patron listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the patron listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in and starting your day with marijuana today.
One take, Shay. One take.